Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Father James. Yes, I'm holding a container of instant coffee. I'm not going to try to drink it, although once when I was really desperate for caffeine, I did eat some instant coffee once, but that was a long time ago. I'm holding a container of instant coffee because I'm coming to you today from the St. Anthony's Parish Hall, the newly renovated St. Anthony's Parish Hall that is housing the newly established Dartmouth North Christian Food Bank. Now, we've spoken a little bit about this, that this food bank has existed for many, many years and operated out of First Baptist Church. And a couple of months ago, through a connection with the parish, we got a phone call saying, First Baptist is moving out of their building. They're building a new building. It's not ready yet. They're looking for a new place. And most of the people they serve live in North Dartmouth. And they're interested in renting the hall. I remember the time we had been praying about having growing our outreach and our presence in North Dartmouth and reaching out to the poor. And this just seemed like to be, something that was so much from God, it was a no-brainer because it just didn't make any sense to me that we would rent. Why would we rent our building to a church so it could feed the poor? So we said, no, we're not going to rent the building to you. We'll give it to you. Let's do it together. And so we had some discussion and some time of prayer, and the leadership of the church came out and said, yes, absolutely, we want to do this. We have a vision for serving the poor in this area, both their physical needs, their spiritual needs. We don't quite have all the details worked out, but I think we can manage that. And so we went ahead and we've done that. And this past week, the newly established Dartmouth North Christian Food Bank opened up. Now, I today had a great conversation on video with Pastor Gavin, the pastor of First Baptist, and that video will be coming out very, very soon. Would love you to watch it, where we share a little bit more about the history of how this came to be in our vision. And one of the things we mentioned is those of you involved in present ministries, especially the ministry of St. Vincent de Paul, don't worry. There's lots of need. But this, we truly believe, was really a God-given opportunity that we had to follow up on. A couple of other things, obviously, Christmas is coming up. It's on December 25th again this year, and it's coming up very, very soon. We, of course, don't know for certain what's going to happen. Are we going to be limited to 5 people? At best, we think we might be able to have 50 people. Either way, obviously, it's going to be a digital Christmas. It might be a white Christmas, but it's definitely going to be digital for most of us. And if we do have 50 people, what we're hoping to do is to give those spaces to members of our church and community who are not online or perhaps who are separated from their families. There will be 2 celebrations. We'll have a 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve and an 11 a.m. on Christmas morning. So more information to follow as soon as we have that. Speaking of information, one of the challenges when I arrived in August was getting financial clarity because we were still working on bringing together all the accounting systems of the 4 different churches, and they had very different practices. And what has been long overdue is to give you a picture of the parish finances. We communicated some of the information at the new foundations meetings that we were having, but this week I want to release a document that I've been working on that gives you a snapshot, at least up until the end of October. And one of the things that we see there, obviously, is that there's a shortfall. I don't think that would be a surprise to anyone. All churches, all charities are struggling with this. But I just want to invite you, as you receive this update and look at it, to give some thought. Give some thought to making perhaps a special Christmas gift to the parish. I suppose we would be forgiven to finish 2020 in the red with a bit of a deficit, but wouldn't it be wonderful if through the generosity of our members, of our parishioners, that wasn't the case? All I'm asking you to do is to get informed, look at that document, and please take this to prayer and ask the Lord what He may be asking you to give. Thank you very much for that. This coming weekend, coming up on Friday night and on all day Saturday, as I mentioned in my homily last week when we had the first live streaming Mass with our new system, we are planning to have a celebration of prayer and the Sacrament of Reconciliation Friday night from 7 to 9, and all day Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The church will be open for prayer. There'll be priests present. I preached about it on the weekend. Check out the homily. And I found out early this morning that of the 100 spaces, because we have to do sign up because of COVID, but of the 100 spaces as of this morning, 27 spaces had already been booked. Like, whoa, that's amazing, that's incredible. So check out our website, as I mentioned in the homily, there's a talk on there, quite a funny talk, a fun talk about how to make a good confession, how to go about it. And I know that this can be an amazing experience of encountering God's love and mercy, because sometimes we all do things and say things and think things that we wish we hadn't said or done or thought. Speaking of which, it was something that I said this weekend that I wish I hadn't said. And if those of you who watched the online mass, I think you might know what I'm talking about. I made a careless remark in my homily, a remark that I hadn't even planned to make. Believe it or not, I actually rehearse my homilies. It takes a lot of work to make it look like you're winging it. And even when I rehearsed it, I didn't say these words, but somehow live, I think honestly I was nervous and I made a poor attempt at humor. And I said the expression that someone is on drugs, like someone being on drugs. It's the expression that I used to use when I was young, and I used it carelessly, and I received an email from a parishioner that stopped me in my tracks and made me realize, oh my goodness, how easy it is to say something that can be hurtful. Now, I don't want to exaggerate this. Obviously, I didn't intend to hurt anyone, but I want to say thank you to that parishioner who brought it to my attention, because it really helped me to see that that's not an expression I should have used. And so if anyone was offended by this, I do ask your forgiveness. Please pray for me. Because like I said, sometimes we can do and say dumb things. And I just want to again thank the parishioner who brought it to my attention. It meant a lot for you to be able to do that. So with that in mind, again, as we've been saying every single week, let's be patient with one another. Let's give each other the benefit of the doubt. Let's be kind to one another in these challenging times. And let's continue to pray for one another. And I think I'm going to go make a cup of coffee. God bless.